we were doing my most favourite thing, camping in the rain. But it was all worthwhile. We've seen off hopefully the bad weather. Now we're going to hit the queue for the launch here. Life jacket, check. One packing system, check. And gloves, check. Check, how's this color coding? How's this? Look at it. Can't even tell the jacket from my fingers. Game plan today? Well, I've already been to be on a kayak, but my cameraman, my editor, my boss, Cameron, camera boss, he said no, I need to be on the boat. How's it, guys? Welcome to the Go Fish Weekly Wrap. Excuse the little bit of a delay. We just got a few signal issues. We started off quite strong and then it disappeared. So Mary's acting as our aerial and she can't move, standing outside there. Welcome. It's St. Patrick's Day today, 17th of March. We've got a couple of Irish guests with us here. You're not Irish?
Not at all.
Oh. All your jokes are just like they're so good. I thought you were Irish.
They're as funny as yours.
No. But no, guys, we got Tamron here and her husband Grant. Tamron set social media last week with a tiny little cooter just squeezed into the hatch there. We would love to play that video of Grant shouting for help out on the water, but there's
it's probably PG rated.
Few too many profanities in there.
My mother literally nearly called like NSRI when she got that video.
Oh, did she? Oh, shit.
He sent it to her too.
Is my lipstick okay?
Yeah, we actually forgot to do Grant's makeup before. But yeah, Tam, that was a fish of a lifetime, eh? For not just yourself, I think for most people. I don't think many guys would, many anglers would have even dreamed of catching a fish like that. Grant and I were chatting about it the other day, and we're talking about the other big cooter in that sort of region. A lot of them were just bycatch. You know, the guys weren't specifically targeting them. But we'll get onto all of those details in a short bit. But just for tonight's show, guys, what we're going to really be chatting about, obviously, is Tam's going to chat about that fish and just sort of the whole ordeal and what it was all about and everything and the excitement and the whole lot. We're going to have another guest on tonight. Sean, I thought of bringing Sean Elliott on. And I gave him a shout.
Sumo wrestling.
He's got sumo wrestling.
Sumo.
Yeah, he said he got sumo wrestling.
He's got podgy legs. Sumo.
And then he's got to pack surfboards for some contest he's doing this weekend.
He's got a bad back, eh?
Has he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll bring him on at some point. I think it'll be funny to have him and you together. But tonight's show is about Tam. So, Grant, if you can just keep the jokes to yourself, just disappear.
I'm out.
There's sorry, I'm just going to grab the picture here because that's really just what sums up this.
Is anybody eating those sweets?
Go for it.
Doing a shark or
Oh, I don't have it here. Sorry.
get a picture of a scooter.
This is the first time you've done this, so.
No, it is. It isn't. It is. But something's gone wrong here.
I'm scared what he's
Guys,
going
we're
to
having
open
some
up.
serious technical issues here. Okay, Ted, let's talk about the fish.
I've got the
Okay.
picture on my phone.
Hey?
I've got the picture on my
Yeah,
phone. I took
bring in
multiple photos.
What we've got here is pretty much a similar size bait to what you used. Is that right?
That is
Okay.
correct.
So, can you just talk us through what happened that day? You guys, first of all, just one thing is you do fish together quite a bit, but there's often times where one of you has to look after little Zachary.
Yeah.
He's out there running wild out
somewhere in the
in
car
the car park at the moment. But
Thanks, Mary.
how did you manage this one?
So
get mom involved?
well, yeah, we booked a weekend away in Zinkwazi with it was Grant, myself, Brad Carr, also with UKFC, and some friends of ours, and my mom also came with. And yeah, we weren't sure if we were going to get to fish together or if we were going to have to take turns, because Zach like wakes up at like 4 a.m. So whoever looks after him, is in for like quite a ride. And yeah, that day, the stars aligned. My mom said she'd look after him. Thank you very much, Mom. So we both got to go out on Sunday morning. Packed some wallets, also had some Macs, and yeah, I had a wallet, literally, I think it was literally just like this. And I had a trace with a pulsator chin weight, 3 little hooks, and this was the size of the bait that I used. When we first went out, I actually started off going for snook. I thought, let me just try for snook first, because I already had a cutter from a Grand Slam point of view. I was I wanted another species, but we're in Zinkwazi, that's where you get the big cutter. So the plan was try for snook for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then go for cutter. So tried for snook. I had the crystal minnow out, but there was quite a lot of flotsam jetsam on the water, so I kept getting caught in things, and I was like, okay, I'm over this. And I saw Brad was heading out towards Sandy's, but Grant was still like in front of the fishing nets, like he'd been there for ages. I don't know what the hell he was doing. To be honest, I have no idea what he was doing. I saw Brad going, and I'm like, normally I'd want to like stick to Brad because Brad knows his shit, and I'm like, okay.
No discredit to me.
No discredit to Grant. But then I thought, don't be a coward, let's go back and see what Grant's doing, find out what's happening. So like I paddled back to him.
She's sleeping alone tonight.
But hang on, this is maybe why she caught the fish. But.
No, exactly. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Are we going to go where Brad's going? Because I knew what his plan was. We kind of spoken before. And then he's like, okay, no, well, he's going to go just past the fishing nets, the shark nets, and then put out bait and then start heading towards Bradwell. So I'm like, okay, cool, that sounds fine. Go just past the fishing nets, probably in like either like 20 or 25 meters water. I don't have a fish finder yet, so like I never know what depth we're at. The thing that annoys the crap out of Grant. Whenever I'm fishing with him, I'm always asking, what depth are we at? What is this? What's that going on? What does it look like?
So you are quite used to it.
What day is it?
Yeah. Where are we?
He was.
And we'll get to that. What day it is in a minute. Okay?
He was like a bit further out than me, but and obviously his faffing had also involved rigging up, I think, for cutter fishing. I'd been fishing for
I think
snook.
what she means to say is expertly preparing my bait.
Yeah, so anyway, I'd been fishing for snook, and then he's like, right, I'm going, and I'm like, whoa, I haven't rigged up yet. I just came back to see what the hell you were doing. So then, yeah, I got out my trace that had the banana weight on the chin, and I was kind of like looking at this, and I thought this is probably almost too big for this wallow, but I was like, screw it. I hooked it up, rigged it up, started letting it out, and then after about 10 meters, I thought, okay, well, let me add the down rig on, the weight on to down rig it. Attach the sinker.
What size sinker was it?
It's like a 6 ounce, 7 ounce.
So not the heaviest you can get.
No, not the heaviest you can have. And then started letting it out further, and then suddenly I heard like a zzz, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I could see the line sort of moving, but like quite slowly.
Okay.
I was on free spool. I was still releasing the bait, and I was kind of like, okay, what's happening? Like, what do I do? I looked like I'm not the most experienced fisher person, so I was just like, okay. And I sort of watched it going a little bit, and I'm like, okay, my drag is set really light because I had been fishing for snook before, and I thought, I'm going to take it off free spool and sort of see what happens. So I like flicked it over from free spool. I still had the ratchet on, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like just reel once or twice and like see what happens very slowly, and then it just went off like nothing I've ever heard in my life before, and I was literally like froze and watched my line like being spooled. I've never had anything like that happen before, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? I put my thumb on the reel, like trying to like slow it down, thinking like I don't want to, like completely screw this up. Grant's always like, don't touch the drag, don't do this, and I'm just like,
In fairness, you had a spool that probably only had half its capacity of line, so panic stations were worried.
I wasn't fishing with my rod or reel because like I fish so infrequently. Like the last time
And she looks after her stuff very well.
Yeah, the last time I fished, I'd caught a cooter. It was covered in cooter slime. I'd done nothing about it. I'd kind of washed it off. So I was actually fishing with his rod and reel.
All accurate.
This is the only claim you can get to that fish.
Yeah.
Would never have happened otherwise.
It's not even a
You
claim.
heard it here first.
No, but yeah, so I probably did a hell of a lot of things wrong. Like as I was doing them, I could just hear Grant say, "Don't do that!" But like in my head, because he's always. I actually started like tightening the drag because I was freaking out because I thought this thing is going to spool me. But like very slowly tightening the star drag, and at the same time, Grant was like far away. So then I thought, okay, maybe I should actually tell him that I'm fighting a fish before he like completely buggers off, and I'm like
bugs me.
scurrying. It's going Grant. Yeah, and then tightened the drag a bit, obviously turned off the ratchet, started reading in because suddenly it went dead, and I actually for a second thought, oh, I've lost it, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know? Reel, and then it just like went again.
Well, it must have been coming back in towards you a bit.
Yeah, I think for the
Probably
first
didn't even
long
realise
while,
it
it
was
had
hooked.
no idea it was hooked because, you know, it took something as I was dropping it down on free spool. I didn't touch it for quite a while. I was sort of like, what do I do?
At which point she has the audacity to, will you come and film? Like I've just dropped my bait.
I know.
It takes
I mean, why would you want to film that
one
one
off the floor?
Yeah. Were you on a fish? No.
Well, it could have been.
Okay, cool. Let's just quickly. I've got the picture now. So I don't know if Cam, you just want to just switch on to that. If we're on the, hey, that's if you have a look here.
Move your mouse.
Sorry.
Hugo Mouse.
Raise your
There you
mouse.
go. That just sort of sums up the fish, I think. I mean, the pictures on the water were great. You're not a bad photographer, but this
It's catch of the month, right?
this just puts the size of this fish in perspective. What was the actual weight?
The weight was 31.45, I think.
But you'd left it. You said you'd left it for a while.
We were
eh?
there with Zaki, and like, I beached early, and I went and played with him, and then eventually.
You probably only got to the scales 4 hours after.
Yeah,
beaching.
5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's probably lost a bit of weight.
Yeah.
Like, well, it definitely.
Apparently, yeah.
No, it does. I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why guys rush to scales, and
Yeah.
when there's obviously a comp on, and guys are
Yes, so there was no comp.
moaning
We
because
were
the
there-
scales aren't open or whatever.
Talk
Yeah.
about firing your shot early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
there was
is
no
that?
comp. We were there to like have a family holiday, so that's what I was doing, and then eventually took it to the ski boat club because Brad knew somebody there, and organised to get it weighed.
That's incredible. Eh? Flip. So that and then okay, so that just put the fish in size and perspective. Now your next mission, I guess, you've got the fish next to the ski. Now what the hell?
Not a frantic chatter.
Yeah, so like I've never caught anything that big. Obviously, like you said, like
Yeah.
a lot, like most people haven't, and like I was kind of thinking, like, what the hell is this thing gonna do when I try and gaff it? You know, like I've gaffed medium-sized tunas and they go like bananas. I've gaffed much smaller cooters and they also go ballistic. But I'd also heard that like with a big fish like that, you know, like so 2 or 3 runs and they kind of kaput.
But it must be actually really, when you see that thing's head.
I
It's
actually
just
thought it
crap
was a
yourself.
shark.
It
It was
wasn't
so big. When I first saw it, I was like, Grant said, "What is it?" He's like, "Is it a cuda? Is it a shark?" And
Do you have
when I
number
saw-
plates before I
Yeah,
start
he said, "Do you have
filming?"
number plates?" He said, "Do you have number plates before I start filming?" And I saw it, and I'm like, "That's a freaking cuta!" But it was so big. At the same time, I was like, "Grant, it's a cuta." I'm like, "It's a
Fine,
freaking
I'll
huge
reel my mates
cuta." Yeah, he literally was like,
Dinosaur.
No, but then what happened was, as I said that, the thing took another run and it literally pulled me straight into Grant.
Yeah,
Grant,
there was a
at one point,
protracted bout of bumper cars.
at one point
We
his
tried our best to
blade
lose
was
it.
wrapped around mine.
So now you're thinking,
I had to
sure,
free
it's now
spool it.
lose this thing.
Yeah, I had to free spool it because it was against his rudder, because it pulled me straight into him. He was filming.
So you come over there and you nearly bugger the whole thing up.
For a while, I kept the biggest cooter in the house, but
He was holding his camera, so he didn't have his paddle, and the thing literally just towed me straight
Did
into
it,
him.
did it cross your mind that he was coming over to actually
did he have a knife in his
in
hand?
a jealous rage to try and cut you off?
It's a shark.
I did scream, and I was like, "Yeah, don't let me don't like lose
Yeah.
this fish." Like,
No, there was a fair amount of panic, and then there may or may not be footage of someone saying, "Blitzen it with a gaff before you try and gaff it and see what it does."
we still need to edit that.
But
Yeah, like,
you actually had, was it a week before that? I think you had chatting on the group about gaffing techniques as well.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That conversation
So
came
that-
into and I'm like,
did that all
I'm
come
touching this
back
with a
into your
barge pole.
mind?
Then it came back in my head. I'm like,
What did
I
that
just
picture
went
look like? What?
Yeah. Up, under, front, back.
I think Grant's got the video of me gaffing it, so like when we actually
Yeah.
have time, yeah, we'll get that video. But I think I eventually did do what the sort of recommendation was over the top,
Yeah,
and gaff it.
To
But
be fair, it rolled over.
yeah, it literally
Yeah.
did. Like I was
But
waited
did
till
it
it
did it
finished.
drag your ski quite a bit, or?
before then. It did, yeah.
So
It
we,
dragged
we
me on.
often say, I guess we often talk about it, that those bigger fish kind of, when you're fishing on a kayak, you have a bit of an advantage because they're actually
Fire it
fighting
out,
the
yeah.
kayak as well.
Mm.
But
Totally.
yes, I think you want that. You don't want,
Yeah.
you really don't want that thing being green at all.
No, I
It-
would have been
it-
completely screwed.
it's a
to be honest.
monster.
If that thing, if it was green, like that's what I actually looked at. I said, I'm not gaffing this thing until it is kaput because
Yeah.
it would have completely thrown me over.
And quite remarkable, it took a while to get lifted. It didn't just come to the surface and die. And there was the seed of doubt, like it might well be a Johnny because it's just staying down there.
Yeah.
You battled to lift it for a while. And eventually it came up and she got number plates. And we're like,
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got the gaffin. Now you got to pick it up, put it on your lap.
and as you can see, she's quite a burly unit.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're just standing watching.
Yeah, so
Oh, trying to take
Yeah,
pictures.
so there's the whole discussion is this thing going to count for Grand Slam if someone else gaffs it or...
yeah, so I was like, get away! Don't touch it! Get away from it! I said, hold my kayak, keep the kayak stable, because I don't know what. So I was like, I had the gaff in it, I had my leg in the water, I literally had to lie like flat to get the thing.
I had my 1 foot in her footwell to
Yeah,
keep her from
it
going
stable.
over there.
Yeah, I checked your toe in that picture.
And like
Last time.
all I was thinking was like, please don't there be like a Johnny, a shark anywhere in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vicinity, because like everybody was involved, like trying to get it onto the kayak. And then once I got it onto the kayak, then the problem was getting it into the hatch.
But once it was on, it was pretty much.
No,
Did you at any stage think, "Geez, I don't want this"? Obviously,
Yes.
you don't want this thing's
Yes.
mouth near you. But did
Yeah.
you think
Didn't
it was
want
going
the
to
knife,
try the
and the
snap?
other thing was
or-
I wasn't sure where the
your hooks were.
where the
There was
trace
a lot of talk
yeah.
of, can you see trebles? Don't put your foot under if you can't see
Well, I guess
trebles.
you
I
got
had
this.
to.
You got this long, big wallet. You got trebles all the way down.
Yeah.
Had it swallowed that thing completely?
We didn't know at the time, but it had, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was gone properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It literally took the whole thing.
Yeah.
The trace was
So I didn't know
passed
that,
on.
so that was the worry with the foot underneath, like, I'm not sure where the trace was. And then once I got it onto the kayak, then I realized there was like literally no way I was going to be able to get it in without Grant helping, because I
Yeah.
couldn't physically, like,
Well, and it
I'm
probably
on a
doesn't even
475,
quite
the
fit
stealth
in there.
475, yeah. So like
She
trying
could
to
not
get it
lie
back
far enough back.
to get its head in, and then it also wouldn't fit. So like Grant had to bend the one side, I had to bend the fins on the other, to first get its head in, like get through, and then we both had to then put gaffs in it and actually like push it. Like we could not get.
And I presume it was probably almost too wide for the.
Yeah,
hatch
it was
as well.
too wide.
It went properly in the front, yeah.
And how'd you get it out? You're back on the beach.
No, that was fine.
Oh.
I just that was fine. I beached quite early. A friend of mine, Ant, was there, and we managed to get it out. So that was okay. It took a lot of bending and everything again as well, but managed to get the rods out like first. Actually broke one of the rods.
Two. The two broken
Yeah,
rods
it's
on the
worth
week,
it
I
though.
mean, like,
And they're not yours. So there's no.
Yeah, mine was Paul Nixon
There's
getting
no
service.
respect.
Oh, the Pauls. Oh,
No,
yours
mine
are
was
Pauls.
all.
Oh, they're just all Grant stuff. Jeez, that's amazing catch. And then, did you catch anything?
yeah.
You did. You actually
yeah,
did.
actually, later on, Brad and I went
You know,
on.
fairness to you though, you did
I'm a gent,
downplay it, eh? You know, and I actually have to apologise to him because I put when I posted that story. Obviously, I started off and I told your little tale, and then I had to have a little dig at Grant, and then there was another little dig, and then it became like a whole story about
No,
Grant. So
generally
it was a
I
little
like
bit of
it.
a distraction from your fish, so I apologise for that.
No,
But
it's okay.
it was
We
I
did
couldn't
have a chat
help
about
like with that gout toe in the way and everything else that was going on. But so you actually Grant got one as well. So I'm actually just going to bring it up here. If you can find it again.
He's going to show a photo of my toe.
No, not your
No,
toe.
yeah.
No one wants to see that.
But we can get the fluffer.
He has another picture that actually hasn't. Are you on there, Ken?
That's the one that makes my fish look tiny because I couldn't pick it up.
Check the cable in your laptop. There you go.
Did you see how cleverly we did that?
So that's yeah. See how cleverly the boys did that. They came and
Quite clearly, mine's the
stood right in
biggest.
front so that they could look bigger. What size was your one?
A 15.
Huh?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Don't try to 50. Brad's was about 18.
Brad was just under. Crockett was 19.9 or something, and of course Thames was about 12.
So this is a lesson on how to make a 31.45 kg fish
Look smaller.
really, really small.
I mean,
Here's, okay, I'm gonna
It was a team
here's a
picture.
picture on the water, and that also just shows. Look at the size of that thing's head. So, your advice to anyone handling a big fish like this: don't panic, really, because I guess I think a lot of guys have also when they've encountered these really bigger fish, they do tend to they go on such a strong run at the beginning and pull your ski. They're such a strong fish that they're
Literally
actually
never
powering
felt
their way through the
anything
water
like that.
with your ski on board, and
I think
they kill themselves off a bit. In a
it's
way.
actually quite rare being able to fish with the wealth of knowledge we have in UKFC. So we often fish with Brad, and Brad will sit next to you and say, "Relax, you've got the fish. Calm down. Gaff it
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're ready. Don't
He wasn't
gaff now."
there, though.
And he wasn't there,
He was
but
like-
I was literally just relaying Brad's message to town. I'm like, "Joel, you got the fish. Don't rush it, you know."
Yeah, but that's all well and good. But I'm pretty sure even a guy like Brad would panic a bit when a fish that size comes up next to you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be losing that.
Yeah, that's
You
all
ne-
I could
you're
think
never
about
gonna
is,
forgive
like,
yourself.
Please don't let me lose this. Like, please. Like, I think last year, if I think about the Grand Slam, I think I caught the smallest cooter on record. It was literally, if this was my cutting board, I think that was the size of the cooter. See, I'm not
So
joking. You can
It's
check.
smaller than the wallet.
Yeah. It was basically the size of everyone joked and said, yeah, you should have released it, or it's the size of bait, Zaki. And then, yeah, this year, getting the, well, one of the biggest ones is, yeah.
Well,
But
there hasn't been a
sure.
bigger one this year for kayak. That's
No,
for sure.
I think Adam got the same length, 158.
Last year.
Oh, was
Last
that last
year.
year?
That was
Oh,
last
that was
year,
this year.
How long have you been fishing for, Tim?
That's actually a good question. I've been fishing for ages,
Yeah.
but I think I started out like rock and surf, like just very casually on holidays and stuff. But when did we start actual
So-
kayak fishing?
I found a Facebook
Blue
post a couple of
Baboons.
days ago.
6
My
years.
first ski was bought through Marcus. That was 9 years ago, and I think you were pretty soon after that.
No.
Did you start fishing together, basically? Or?
No, he started the kayak fishing first. I'd been surf fishing and that before then. But yeah, he'd started out, and I think it was Marcus, but also Blue Baboons, and then I joined like a Blue Baboons social session, and that's kind of when I started. I'll have to check, but I think it was like 6 years ago. But yeah, and Zaki's been around for 4 years. And initially we fished quite a lot together, but then with Zaki coming, like the fishing's been very sort of sporadic.
You actually won the ladies section at the Pumula Comp in 2018, eh?
Yes, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I also won one of the
I won't
summer
talk about
series
the
comps,
launching and all
but
that.
overall, I've won overall, and then the Pumula one I won.
Yeah, I know you won.
I
the-
think
Yeah,
you,
you won a few.
you won the Salmon Bay one for.
Yes, Salmon Bay. No.
So now, how do you? Okay, we've obviously got comp season coming up, like Grant said. You've
You fired your shot.
fired your shot really, but you got to keep on. I mean, you know what you did there, and now you just got to go back and. I mean, you got to be realistic. It's going to be difficult to match something like it, but you could come close because you know what you did and what to do.
It's the time of the year. It's the right
Yeah.
venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging for us because, like I said, like you know, if my mom's not available, then we have to take turns, and we
Yeah.
did that last year. We took turns fishing the UKFC comp, and this year my mom's going to Ireland to visit my sister.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna.
So you're Irish.
There we go. There's the link. No, we're not, but my sister
Okay.
does live in Ireland.
I knew there was some link
There you
here.
go.
Close enough.
That's why I got you on
Yeah. So this year we're probably gonna have to take turns at fishing.
today. So it's your turn next, Grant.
Yeah,
No, just
there-
days.
there- There'll be a
It's
heated
not-
debate, much like who's fishing with 3 rods or 2
Yeah,
rods.
yeah. There was a big debate.
So
about it.
now, what would your tactics be now going forward? What big bait, basically. That's really what it is, isn't it? I mean, this is a walla walla. Actually, we asked Mary to bring one.
Smells
from-
ready. It definitely smells ready.
My fingers are gonna.
It's not quite
smell
yellow.
lacquer. But I'm just gonna actually
This is starting to feel
show
like
what a
what's that
Walla Walla
program
is,
horrible things.
because often, especially the
Because no one watching a fishing show knows what a Walla Walla is, right?
no, some guys don't, eh? Some guys are actually
Why
totally
did you invite her?
unsure.
It's quite rude.
You just don't want me to open this thing, eh?
It's smelling much better, I must say.
It's been Christmas wrapped, that thing.
And that's actually the hardest part of catching a kuta.
Unwrapping the wallet.
Yeah.
So there we go. That there is a Walla Walla. You'll find them at the bottom of the freezer at King's.
It's the natural habitat.
That's their natural habitat. But now, if you're wanting to catch them, you can go into the harbour at night and catch them on. I don't know all the tactics. Guys like Cameron Sim and that know.
Little
Yeah.
sticks, a little wide trace.
But they're a strange fish. It's a wolf herring, but you don't just find them up and down our coast. But they do hang around Zinkwazi for some reason.
Yeah,
And that's the reason wallas work there very well.
Yeah.
They don't actually always work well elsewhere. So you could, I'm sure they probably would work at other areas close to Zinks, but the further away you go from Zinkwazi, the less they seem to work. So if you take Walla Wallas up to Mozambique, for example, they're not as effective because it's basically about using the bait for the area.
metro hatch kind of thing.
Now, tying a trace for this, you need to use multiple hooks. So I've got a little trace here. You can just point us in the right direction, since you're the expert. This is actually going to be a bit short. See, I've been prepping for comp season, and you putting together traces, and you'll see that there's 3 trebles there. I don't know if you can. Chad, can you zoom in? Yeah. How's that? So you need to have a nice big, properly rigged trace. So you need to have at least 3 trebles. Some guys use even more. Eh? Some guys will fill in the gaps with another treble, then maybe a 4, and then your chin weight on the end here. And because the last thing you want to do is have a treble, and then nothing, and then get chopped off on the tail. I mean, your fish charred the whole walla, but often a kuta, what it'll do is it'll come in and have a bite, and then he'll come back and char again. But if he's come in and had a bite and missed the hook, and then he doesn't come back, then you've lost out. So you need to have a proper trace. So if you're going to be using Walla Wallas or wolf herrings, make sure you are tying your trace properly. Is that a similar sort of trace that you had? And then you obviously had a duster going as well? Or?
No, I didn't have a duster. I had the pulsator chin weight. And
what did you use, the banana chin weight?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, actually. So my trace was actually probably this length. So let's imagine that's the banana chin weight. You know, that was through there. And this is actually where my trace ended.
All right, okay.
I don't know why, but like with a walla, I'd actually like to have the tail free.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying about you
no,
could
but
use that.
you're the one who's caught the big fish.
so that's
not arguing.
that's exactly like the length of.
So you
the
actually
trace
want
that
the
I had.
tail sort of flapping
I
loose a
thought
bit.
it looked good in the water with the tail free, but like I said, what actually happened with mine is the kuta took it when I was releasing it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it actually would have been, following, like Grant said on UKFC, following a
rapidly descending.
Yeah, but we
walla.
were watching a video. Guy Bishop put a video on the other day. It was yesterday,
swim.
Yeah, it was
and
yesterday.
they were like shoaling, but they were shoaling upright like this. And every now and again, you saw one sort of swim down, and then they'd all.
Mine would
so
have
obviously,
been
maybe
rapidly
they do,
descending.
and that's sort of maybe what yours was doing. Eh?
Yeah.
Remarkably, the much smaller kuta that I caught the same day was caught pretty much the same way, because Brad and I had stopped to clean lines after going through some gorilla snot, and I did my walla first, and I kind of dropped it down, and I thought, well, let me not let it hit the deck, let it just hang there in the water next to me, and I was cleaning my other line, and of course the drag was set because I'd reeled it in, and cue me almost getting pulled over backwards out of the ski with no ratchet. I'm going, what the heck's going on here, dude?
You don't often fall off the ski though.
No, I'm very stable on the ski. I'm a very efficient paddler.
Yeah. So You just had 2 hooks in, 2 trebles, eh?
Yeah, I had the lead hook with the pulsator weight, and then 2.
Okay, so there's your Walla Walla there, guys. So if you're going to be rigging up a Walla, make sure you just rig it correctly, because there's nothing worse than having a sort of half-ass trace. I mean, you hear stories of guys who they'll get lucky and they'll put 1 treble in and with a mackerel trace, and then they get lucky. But a couta will often come in and have a bite, often near the back, char half, and then you move off. Maybe you won't come back in, and then you've lost your fish. So it's you've got to make sure you rigged up properly. When you're fishing Zinkwazi, you guys fish Zinkwazi quite a bit, eh? Or you have in the last couple of years.
We fish it for
this time of the year,
but like,
And is Walla your go-to bait, or do you use other baits as well?
I'll give my opinion. So Walla has always been my go-to bait at Zinkwazi. This is the first time I've caught anything at Zinkwazi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I've fished there Zinkwazi for me. I've always fished there. Like I think every UKFC comp that I've been able to fished there.
It's
I
been
think with
blocked off
Walla,
for it.
and I've never caught.
Yeah, but it's kind of worth it, eh?
Yeah.
It's made up for all those other
I mean,
times.
if you have to
I think
add
I've
up
also
all the
fished-
fish I've
I
caught,
think I've also fished PG with Walla, not caught anything there with that. So I was kind of almost like, I've caught more on Mac than I have on Walla, but this time.
Well, when you're fishing Zinkwazi, we found that with when we were there as well, we were actually using red eye, mackerel, and Walla when we had some, and they were all working. But those really, really big fish, just if you really want a really big fish, you need to have really big bait as often as possible. Obviously, I mean, the guy who won it last year caught it on a little, was it a Starks minnow or
it was
Yazuri?
it was crystal meth.
Crystal meth. But basically, you get lucky.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that fish hasn't read Scott Hunter's book.
statistically, statistically, if you want bigger fish, you need to be using bigger bait in the story. So Walla Wallas, Bonnies, and like you said, that thing just gobbled that whole Walla in one bite.
Yeah, that was just kind of meant to be.
Yeah. So what's your plans for the rest of the season? Are you going to take it easy now, or and wait to the comps, or you don't want to sort of burn out too early, eh?
No, I haven't fished since I caught the big couta.
Yeah.
And I'm super keen to get out again, so hoping to go out this weekend. What I wanted to do is, I don't know, somebody had posted on UKF or one of the groups around, like, you know, how do you plan your Grand Slam, or what do you need to do, how do you pace yourself, and I'd really wanted to catch, you know, like 1 different species a month at least. Well, I know we're only going to get 10, but anyway, because I don't get to go out that often, so I was kind of feeling like anxious because, you know, I'd caught a couta, but I hadn't caught anything else. But then, you know, we used this weekend to maximum, the weekend of the 5th and 6th of March, because I managed to get a bass, which is also part of our UKFC Grand Slam, and then the couta. So now I'm gonna, you know, go after things like snook and tuna, and also depending on what's there seasonally. You know, I think that was the big thing as well. If something's around seasonally, target that.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I mean, that's the whole challenge of the UKFC Grand Slam, and that's what makes it such a good challenge, is that you need to go out for specific fish, and you went out to target a big couta. You wanted to upgrade, and you upgraded properly. You want to upgrade again?
No. Definitely not.
You didn't. You said you didn't use a duster.
No.
Do you vary? What do you?
Yeah,
do you depend on the watercolor, or?
No. Generally, like, I don't know. Everyone always swears about like pink dusters. So generally, there's a pink duster or like a purple one. But often with my Max, I don't know, with Walla, I don't normally use a duster. I don't know why, you know, people just have their things.
A fair amount of natural flash going on.
Yeah. I mean, so I think a lot of guys will always use dusters on their dead bait traces all the time, but then often hear that guys who are fishing with wallows that don't want to use the duster because it's just a big enough, flashy enough bait as it is. So, yeah, I was just wanting to see what your sort of your tactics were. Okay, I'm just gonna. You guys obviously, is there quite a bit of rivalry in the house when it comes to fishing, or is it just? Well, I mean,
I'm not getting.
it's very difficult to knock the champ off your seat down.
I'm laughing at my son that I can see running around in the background, not at Grant. No, it's not rivalry. Like,
I mean, it would be foolish of me to
go up against someone of this caliber.
There's that take, or
someone with that luck that I have.
yeah, or to expect to regularly go out and catch a 30+ cooter.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's been 9 years fishing off a ski, and I generally tick the species off and I leave them alone. But in 9 years' time, I've 19.98 where I'm sitting, and it's soul destroying every year. And you go, well, I guess that's the season gone.
Yeah, but you must be. You're obviously very proud. I mean, you were nearly in tears when you were talking to me the other day.
I'll tell you quite honestly, if it was a mate, I more than likely would have cut him off and like stuff. But like, I mean, there's the risk of divorce and me getting stuck with my son. I mean, you don't want to go down that road, eh?
No, he's well behaved. He's just thrown a bottle into the pool. But no, he's all right.
No, he's
If you're going to pick your battles, I mean.
Okay, so the reason I got into the competitive side of it, I'm going to have a little. We were talking earlier about you're a little bit nervous to be on here, and I said, don't worry, it's just like being on Telefun Quiz. So do you remember that show? So we're going to have a little quiz here. No prizes up for grabs or anything, but we're just going to see who can come up with the answer the fastest.
Voila.
Grant or
I'm going to lose. If it's a.
You see, don't jump the gun. Okay. So what we're going to have, the first question, so it's just a matter of just shouting out your name, and then if you get it right, you get it right. So I don't know if Mary, can you tally up just to see who, this could be quite close, but my money's on Tam.
Are we going to have an arm wrestling leg?
I've run out of wine.
I might take that one.
I don't think you will.
Fair enough.
Okay, all right, are we ready? Okay, first question is, what is the common name, or what is another major name of a cooter here in South Africa?
Scombrosaurus commerson.
Tam, king mackerel. I didn't ask the scientific name.
Yeah.
I said the common name. Okay.
Please.
Okay. What is the scientific name of a GT or kingfish?
Ignobilis.
There you go.
Full name, please. No googling.
I'm not googling on that. Blank.
Okay.
I do know it though.
But the Ignobilis part, I don't know the rest.
Walla Walla's real name.
Oh,
I think it's a ribbonfish, not a. You've called it a wolfhead.
Yep.
I think it's a ribbonfish.
You could be correct. We'll have to look that up. But I've got wolf herring, and that's what often is referred to. But maybe you're right.
Wolfhead's got a jutty jaw.
Yeah. What date is the UKFC comp?
15th and 16th of May.
14th, 15th of May.
Oh shit.
And she saw, so it's negative points, maybe. Just that doc.
Okay, we're getting close here. What is Kirk's nickname?
Who's Kirk?
Podgy.
Close. It's Fatty Puff.
Fair enough.
What does the abbreviation THUR stand for?
Thursday.
Yeah, correct. Why did you think we were coming on Friday, Grant? When I said to you in the WhatsApp, THUR.
I was trying to dodge this like a bullet, dude.
Okay, last question. How many comps has Tam won?
1. Outright. Salmon Bay.
Overall.
Yeah. And why am I answering for you?
I don't know.
Overall,
Who's supposed to be answering? Is this one? Is part of the
Yeah.
3. I don't know.
overall 1 in a category, ladies category, Pamula, where I took biggest wipeout.
Oh, maybe 2.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Got to count to
2.
something.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay, guys, your knowledge isn't great, eh? But I think
I
think Tam takes it. Okay, it's comp season coming up. you the Vice Commodore of the UKFC. Give us a little punt of the UKFC comp and what we can expect this year and the dates, etc.
Yeah, it's 14th, 15th May, going into our 11th year. Would have been 12th if not for COVID. I think it's safe to say it's one of the most prestigious comps in Africa, if not around. Hi Zaki, I'm on TV. It's famous. Yeah, prize giving outright winners 50k. You generally get your clubs putting in the kitty for their own anglers, SACFA anglers, registered anglers.
And it's a kayak only comp. Obviously, it's
a kayak only comp.
It's basically the world's biggest kayak only comp. Is that right? Possibly.
The one in the States might be bigger, and I think there's one in Noosa Odds, which is also very big. But definitely
and it's all happening here. The host venue is here at Umhlanga Ski Boat Club.
Registration, weigh-in, everything happens at Umhlanga Ski Boat Club where we are. Seven launching and beaching sites up the coast, as far as Zinks and down this side.
You can look them up on but it's Eastmore Main Beach.
Zinks, Salmon, Eastmore, Umhloti,
Markdale normally.
Markdale,
yeah,
and
Tinley South. Tinley parking lot,
yeah.
But obviously all those details are on the UKFC Facebook page.
All the details on the UKFC Facebook page, and I think
there's also early bird entries are coming up soon.
Early bird entries in 30th of April, $400, and obviously a massive thanks to the sponsors, Kempster Ford, and a host of other sponsors. Without them, events like this aren't possible.
100%. That's the thing, guys. Is we're coming right up into comp season now, and I think we've had 2 years of limited or no comps, and we forget how important it is to have these big sponsors on board, and what we need to do we need to support them. I mean, without them, you can't really have a comp with big prizes without sponsors. It's all great having all the competitors, but having all the sponsors on board is a massive, massive thing. We've got obviously the Umhlanga Ski Boat comp coming up. Mary, I don't know if do you want to pop on and tell us? No, okay, no, she doesn't want already. That is coming up on the 27th.
No, it's the 1st to the 3rd.
Sorry, 1st to the 3rd of April.
Close, huh?
It is coming up very, very quickly.
No.
So, and that is kayaks, jet skis, ski boats.
Yeah.
There's massive prizes up for grabs there. The first prize is a Suzuki 100 worth
150,000.
150. I'm jumping the gun here. 150,000. No, but I mean, there's massive prizes all around. So even if you don't win first prize, there's prizes for biggest fish on a kayak, biggest fish on a jet ski.
Top kayak, top jet ski, top lady, top junior, and then also a bullfish prize.
So there's
was best release.
It's another massive festival. It's awesome fun. It's comps and
it's a great time of the year.
Festivals are awesome. You know, a lot of guys get together for the only time in the year, and they catch up, and some guys actually don't even end up fishing because they have too much party. But that's the way it is. Then we've got the Durban Ski Boat Festival. That was the one that I was getting the date mixed up. That's towards the end of April to the 1st of May. So that's on that long weekend. That's also another massive comp, a comp that's been running for years. Huge prizes up for grabs as well. They've got a boat up for grabs. So that's an immense comp, and also a great vibe. Lots of people down there. And then we've got the King of the Sea. I'm just checking if there were some others in between. But it's basically it's comp season. Then we got King of the Sea a week after the UKFC comp, and that's our comp down at Pumula. That's also
a great vibe.
Also lekker fun. Also, a lot of guys don't end up launching on the second day because they drill too hard on the first night. But that's what it's all about.
Both of the rods I fished with are actually ones that I won at Mulacom.
Well, that's what we do. That's a lot of comps are like that as well. We do it at our comp. Is we give away lots of prizes, and that's the thing is when you're entering these comps, it's not about winning the main prize. Okay, obviously you want to go in and try to win the main prize, and there's guys competing hard for that sort of thing. But there's such a vibe when there's lots of little sort of comps within comps, and there's lots of prizes to be won at all these comps, and it's nice to just walk away with something when you go to them. Sometimes it's just a lucky draw, but
often I walk away with my ski intact.
You just walk away with your
almost not
your name intact.
my name's seldom intact, but I mean, if I've got my skis in one piece, it's a win.
So it's prime season, and that's how all the comps happen now. So if you're going to be fishing, you may as well be entering comps, really, because there's been a couple of stories over the last couple of years where guys have fished and they've caught a fish that they would have won the comp outright with, and they weren't entered.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be fishing on the weekend of a comp, you may as well put the money down and have a crack. I mean, the Umhlanga comp $600 odd. UKC's 400. Ours is 500. I think Durban's probably similar. It's not a lot, and if you can walk away with prizes valued at over $1,000, if you walk away with first prize, then even better. But it's comp season, guys. Get in and join in. The clubs need the support. The sponsors enjoy the support, and it's just awesome fun. I think that's pretty much a bit of a wrap for tonight. Tam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Grant,
No,
thanks for tagging along.
Sure.
And I know we didn't do your makeup before, and Zach's calling you there
As
at
long
the
as my
door.
lipstick didn't smudge, I'm good.
But guys, thanks for joining us again, and it was awesome to have Tamarin on the show. And we'll be doing a few more. We'll be doing a write-up in the mag about the fish, and if you want to sort of tap into some great fishing brains, she's now top of the pile. So you're going to be inundated at comps and stuff. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for passing on a few tips. And we'll catch you guys at the next one.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Sure.